Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So the season just reset, but before the season reset, a friend of mine actually pushed up to 3200. He got up to rank, I think, 80 or something in the world, just 2 days before the season ended. So he did a really good push with lots of win streak, and he actually decided to share some of his replays with us. So we're just gonna head into the first one here against Logbait and check this game out. So he's against Andre Parlo, and as you can see, he's running sort of a little bit of an OG Logbait deck.
Yay!
With cannon card and a lot of bait cards, and miner as well, instead of the Skelly King version with arrows. So yeah, honestly, it's a pretty tough matchup for bait. You'll see that Kai is actually running the cannon, which is definitely better in the meta because you're more of a cheap cycle. Mostly against Mortar, but honestly against pretty much any deck in the meta currently. Also against Pekka and stuff. You really want that cheap cycle.
Bullseye.
Okay, so yeah, he got a nice princess here, and he's just really keeping up the pressure here. Really good barrel there, because the opponent couldn't afford the log, because he had to cannon card on the princess. And you'll see he actually got a ton of damage on the right side as well. So far he's been doing some really good pressure here. And he's only down 2 elixir right now. So you can see he's ready for a mortar. He's got his cannon ready. Yeah, so I think he'll just cannon here. Okay, he actually distracts him with the Goblin Gang first, probably expecting some form of mortar pop, which he can go in for, but still, now he has a survival plan. And he goes in for an Evo Barrel, and really good Evo Barrel, because the opponent actually logged the wrong side. But I think that Evo Barrel was a bit questionable, because the opponent could have just logged the weak side and ignored the fake barrel. But he guessed it wrong, so it ended up being really good. He didn't actually have a tank on the side, which is generally you either want to have an Ice Bird or a Goblin Gang or a Knight or anything like that. If you're going for an Evo Barrel, and then you want something else tanking in the other lane, or just the real barrel on the left. So yeah, you generally want to push both lanes. The Evo Barrel against the Princess Tower. Against the Cannoneer, you can just go in for it anytime, because the Cannoneer, it's gonna get even damage against the Cannoneer. So yeah, you can see, thanks to the Evo Barrel, he's actually getting really even damage here. He's got the tower pretty much on HP with, and he's just defending right now. He forced out the opponent's dog on offense, which is nice for him, but he's just gonna keep the pressure up, knowing that the opponent doesn't have log inside. The thing with this matchup, or one of the things that I really want to take note of, is that the bad side of the control, especially the events, you need to be careful that it doesn't catch you in the matchup with the bats who don't have princess or ice spread inside, or just in general that his bats won't get too much damage. Really good Evo Barrel once again. He couldn't afford to actually defend both dangers, but he ended up logging wrong side. He went to the strong side with the real barrel. Kind of bad bats there. They really get no value. They just run right into the knight, but they start blocking the mortar. So it's getting a bit tricky here. You'll see almost approaching triple. He's already got Evo Mortar in the right. So up the pressure quite a bit at this point, but I got one of the mortars off the field. And he's getting the second one off now, so really good defense from him there, and I think this should be escape. He's just gonna take the opponent has no elixir damage, the log, just get princess on the left side. That's too good for the first match. So let's jump right into the next one. Alright, so the next match will be against Logbait here, and you can see that the opponent actually goes in for a lava first play, which is a really bad situation for Kai here. He doesn't have anything to pressure. He used his Goblin Barrel. He doesn't even have a gang in cycle. And yeah, as we talked about in the first game, he has the cannon, so he doesn't really have a good defense for the Logbait. He only has Princess and Goblin Gang. But yeah, he gets the Mega Minion off to the right lane, which is really good for him. And here he actually gets a really nice pressure on the right side, allowing the Goblin Gang to completely destroy that Logbait, with the spear goblin. So yeah, you can kind of use the goblin gang as a bit of sap bait, or if you can bait out the sap, then the goblin gang can get some really nice value against the lava hound on defense. So yeah, that's kind of a good tip against lava hound. But in general, this matchup is pretty tricky with the cannon. You really need to apply some good pressure and bait out his cards. Here he goes for split skelly drags, which I think is kind of bad, because yeah, Kai can just actually distract the skelly drag and force out at least another mega minion. And here he can gang the bridge and then Evo barrel as well. And he can only defend one side. Look at the left side, how much damage he's getting. So yeah, the opponent's kind of overcommitting left and right. And I think he's going to avoid the princess here, which in my opinion would also be a terrible play. Because then they'd be even on elixir and Kai would just be up practically a tower and a half at this point. Alright, so he did go in for the void, and as you can see, Kai is actually up half an elixir or so. So really good situation for Kai. The opponent kind of messed up with his lava first play. He didn't commit properly to it and allowed Kai to apply some really good pressure to actually defend the lava with the goblin gang. So yeah, really good Evo Knight here pulling the skelly drags. And as you can see, Kai is just really trying to utilize his troops to get as much value out of them as possible and force as much elixir out of the opponent as possible. Here he's going to go in for a gang on the left, forcing out 3 elixir on defense. Yeah, so that's 3 elixir that he can't push with the lava. And then he's just going to princess in the back, because he can't kill both of the princesses. And look at this knight. It distracts the skelly drags, but he's also using it to apply pressure to the opponent. And really good barrel in the back there. The Valkyrie went in the front. And he gets another princess down. I think that's the 3rd princess to kill this lava push. And good for Kai, actually. He recognized that he wouldn't be able to save his tower there. So he just let it go and recognized that the opponent's tower is almost dead, so he can just go into a 2-tower situation here. Kind of a risky play in my opinion, that he actually decided to rocket the balloon, but obviously he did get the defense, and he's just going to rocket log the tower here. So really a really good game against lava here, and let's jump right into the next game. In the 3rd game here, Kai is actually going to be up top in red. But yeah, you'll see he's facing Hog EQ right now with Mini P.E.K.K.A. So it's a really fast cycle Hog EQ deck, but with no building. And the opponent actually goes for Hog first play, but Kai goes for Princess first play. So you can say that that's sort of an even exchange, even though Kai is down 200 at this point. But yeah, this matchup is tricky for a Logbait, because he obviously has the cannon, and the EQ completely counters the cannon. There is a placement where you can put the cannon in the opposite lane up top, and then you can push the Hog Rider into that lane. But it requires, you have to be ready for the Hog Rider, and you need to be really quick with it as well. So it's kind of tricky to do consistently. But yeah, if he just goes for that placement, EQ will full counter the cannon, and he will have to spend something else for it as well. Good defense here, though. Clean Knight against the Firecracker. He didn't take any damage, I don't think, and he actually got the King Tour activation. So he's off to a really good start here. Good barrel again, keeping the opponent on low elixir. And now he has to play something for that Goblin Gang as well. Ice Spirit on the right side, gonna get some easy chip in, or force out the Ice Spirit. So yeah, Kai is up 1 elixir here, and he's just ready for with his cannon against the Hog Rider. You can see the opponent's hovering the Mini P.E.K.K.A, probably not counting that the princess is actually out of cycle for now. But yeah, Kai is probably just going to cycle a log here in this matchup. Besides stacking princesses, you really just want to get as much log chip in as you possibly can. Because these type of matchups against Hog EQ and those type of decks, it always gets really close. So any chip you can get is just really good for you with the Logbait. Really good gang there. Predicting the Evo Firecracker and actually killing it as well. And nice Evo barrel as well. But you see, Kai is still down 400 despite getting that really nice prediction there, because he couldn't defend the Hog Rider properly. Because you'll see that like the EQ completely destroys the cannon, and he got, I'm not sure if it was 1 or actually 2 Hog hits, but he got some good Hog damage. And the opponent has such a quick cycle, and with the Firecracker and Log, it's just really difficult to break through for a Logbait. So at some point he's going to have to rocket cycle unless he gets a really good Evo barrel going. Okay, really nice log there, actually allowing him to get a princess connection, forcing the log out of the opponent. So now he can goblin barrel and maybe get a bit of value. Unfortunately for Kai, that firecracker is actually just clogging up that lane completely. But yeah, he's kind of struggling to... Alright, let's actually just go back for a second and see what happened here, because the opponent's tower is on 3k. He plays a barrel Kai in the front, and it gets maximum damage. It gets 1000 damage, and the opponent only gets 1 or 2 hog hits. So that's a really good exchange for Kai. Another important thing to note in this matchup is to go in when the opponent is attacking. So pressure when defending, that's a key aspect of playing Logbait. Because when he's low on elixir, he can't defend as well. And as you'll see, Kai actually got 1000 damage off of that. But yeah, he's kind of looking... he's not in the best spot here. The opponent is in the lead by 1000 HP. And they're even on elixir pretty much. A really good goblin gang there against the Hog Rider, predicting it and getting the princess at the bridge down. This is some really crucial damage for Kai, forcing out the firecracker as well, which is just a waste. Now he can't push it with the Hog Rider. So he's kind of looking a bit better now, but it's still a really tricky situation to win here. So the opponent decides not to EQ, because he's going to struggle to defend if he did EQ. Because look at that Ice Spirit value on the right side, almost killing the mini peck with all that, and forcing out even more elixir on the left side. And he doesn't really have anything good for this goblin gang. And look at this Evo barrel. The knight is actually tanking, and the Evo barrel gets so much damage, and he princesses to take the win. Really good win here against a bad matchup for Kai. So let's jump right into the 4th game. So the 4th game here is actually against the classic P.E.K.K.A version, P.E.K.K.A Ram deck that pretty much everybody has been running this season. I figured it would be good to show this one because it can be kind of tricky to beat this matchup, and obviously in this season there's going to be a lot of P.E.K.K.A as well, so it's good to know how to beat it. But yeah, he's just playing the version with Evo Wizard, Evo Sap, and Ram Rider and Ghost Bandit and Battle Ram, and not the Battle Ram, but the Ram Rider instead, right? But yeah, that's the version he's running. Kind of bad sap by the opponent there. Kai can just go in for an Evo barrel here, and the opponent really doesn't have much for it. Kind of a bad log there, but Kai does get the King Tower activation, and I think that might be why he played the log. Kai actually decides not to cannon on the Ram Rider here, which I think is a really important thing to note, because if he had played the cannon, the opponent wouldn't have had to respond to it. But now, since he played the gang, he did take some damage, but he forced out a Royal Ghost from the opponent, which he can defend with a knight, and then the opponent will have to respond to it again. So this way he's forcing much more elixir out of the opponent, and he can go for a barrel opposite and force out the Evo Wizard, which is really huge, because the Evo Wizard is just so difficult to defend if it gets in a big P.E.K.K.A push. So it's also always really important to try to force out the Evo Wizard and also force out the Evo Sap when he's trying to push. That's kind of 2 things that you should be paying attention to in this matchup. So Kai goes for a split gang here. Really a good play against the Cannoneer Tower. You can go for a split gang, especially with Evo Barrel. Look at the damage he's getting, especially on the right. And he used 6 elixir, and the opponent played Ghost, E-Spirit, and Sap. That's 6 elixir as well. And he didn't defend it very well. Another important thing to note here is, notice that Kai actually didn't waste his Evo Knight here. He simply played an Ice Spirit on the Royal Ghost, and he let it get 3 hits because he didn't want to waste the Evo Knight, because he knew that he would need it for defense, and he knew that he's up damage, so he can afford to take some damage, but he needs to be able to defend. So yeah, he saves the Evo Knight for the Royal Ghost, and he just goes completely safe here and actually rockets the Wizard. Just cannon for the Ram Rider, and he's looking really good here, so I think he might barrel with this, but it could also be a bit risky. Yeah, he's actually holding off on the barrel, because he's just playing it completely safe here. He doesn't want to risk overcommitting and accidentally throwing the game away. Now he's going to barrel because the opponent did play a P.E.K.K.A in the back, and yeah, look at that. He lets one more Wizard hit go because he knows that he can afford to take some damage. He just needs to not overcommit, and really bad defense by the opponent here, just letting those goblins through. So yeah, that's going to be rocket range, and I think he'll just take it straight away. So clean game against Pekka here, and I'll see you guys in the last game. Alright guys, we're in the last game here against Magic Archer NATO Drill. I picked this replay because I think it's kind of a common deck to play as well, at least on like somewhat ranked ladder. I've faced this matchup a ton myself, it's really popular, and it's a really difficult matchup to beat. You really need to know how to play it and get some really important, sort of decisions in the game. So you need to be able to defend the drill properly, and you need to be aware of the magic archers, but you also need to get really good value out of the princess. So in this matchup, you kind of use the princess to force as much elixir out of the opponent as possible, and potentially bait out their log as well, so that you can get a good Evo barrel push. So if you have a princess that's really good on defense and they have to log it to actually take it off the field, like they don't have a big spell to kill it. If they can snipe it with a magic archer or put it in with a NATO, they have to log it if they want to kill it. If it's just standing on defense. So yeah, that's one really important thing. And then the other important thing is the Evo barrel. The Evo barrel is the primary win condition in this matchup. It's really important to win this matchup, because it's just what allows you to actually break through their really good defense. So the opponent actually gets quite a bit of damage here, but Kai's not looking too bad here, because he does have a princess and knight going down, and he can go for an Evo barrel push here. Another important thing to note here in this matchup is that you need to pay attention to whenever he has the Evo skellies in hand, because he can use them to defend the drill. Sorry, the Evo barrel. So Evo skellies and the log fully count as the Evo barrel, right? So Kai is still in a pretty good spot here. He's up a lot of elixir with the Evo Knight and the princess down on the field, so he's just gonna go in on the left side. Knowing that the opponent doesn't have a NATO in cycle, he just goes for it on the inside, hoping to trick him in any way possible. That's another thing. Against these NATO decks, you want to kind of try to vary your barrel placements a bit. So yeah, really bad bomb tower there. He's gonna have to log this barrel, and that princess is getting a ton of value. The opponent here, he should have played the log one tile higher. But yeah, even another thing to pay note to in this matchup is the fact that you really don't want to be going same lane. In this matchup, it's really difficult to actually get damage when you're going same lane. So yeah, Kai is obviously looking good here, but it's not great for him that they're going into the same lane. Now, good choice to cannon on the magic archer, because he could have just NATO'd the knight if he had played that. And another thing is, if when defending the Evo drill, it can be pretty good to actually just log the first batch of, drill goblins. Because if you play something on it, the drill is just going to go so far away that it's not going to get any more value. So logging the first one and then playing a troop on it like Knight, Icebird, or Goblin Gang can be a pretty good defense against the Evo drill. So yeah, really good princess pressure here again. Okay, bad NATO by the opponent there, but it's not really going to matter that much. But he forces out the log on the right side, and you'll see that through the Evo barrel and Princess the Bridge damage, he's been getting quite a bit of damage on the right side, which has allowed him to almost switch lanes. You could say that he's kind of switched lanes, but not entirely. So here he has to be really careful with the magic archer, so he had to Goblin Gang the bridge here. So it's kind of getting tricky here with the Evo Skellies and the Magic Archer, but he's playing really solid defense, which you'll notice. And here you see it. The princess is on the field. The opponent cannot kill it unless he logs it. So Kai actually baits out the log with the princess there, and he gets a ton of damage on the right side. And yeah, just in this matchup, you need to be playing really solid defense all game long, because any damage can just throw you out of the game. So really good log here by Kai, recognizing that the opponent might actually play a magic archer at the bridge. So he ended up hitting that and avoiding taking any damage. So he's kind of up by 800 damage here actually. So he's looking really good. The opponent is kind of making some mistakes. He played that drill one tile up too high, which might have cost him like a hit or something. But yeah, Kai just gets a ton of damage here on the left, and you'll notice that he just applied so good pressure that the opponent couldn't break through properly, and he just got a lot of damage by doing that with the princess and the Evo barrel. So good games here against Kai, and thank you so much for sharing these replays for the channel. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this type of video. Please let me know what kind of feedback you have for this video in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.